Hello everyone, and welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars. It feels so good to have you here, settling in with us for another deep dive into a love story that refuses to fade into the background. Tonight, we're circling a question that keeps echoing in your messages, your comments, and your late-night theories. Has the universe nudged Akın and Ebru back toward each other? Is that familiar warmth we all sensed once upon a time beginning to glow again? If your heart skipped a beat just reading that, you are absolutely not alone. Before we plunge into the clues, the whispers, and every fluttering detail, take a second to subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars and ring that bell. It's free, it helps this community stay strong, and it makes sure you never miss a single twist in the storylines we love to follow. Ready? Let's open the curtain. First, let's remember why this pair captures so much attention. When Akın and Ebru share a frame or cross paths in public, there's a hum in the air, an energy that viewers feel down to the bone. In the past, their interactions had that unmistakable blend of ease and intensity, the kind that sends magazines reaching for covers and fans racing to compile every glance, every laugh, every tiny moment that might mean more than it seems. Then life did what life always does. Work called. Schedules tangled. Paths drifted. The spotlight shifted to individual projects, and with it came those stretches of silence that make fans lean closer, searching for signals in the quiet. Yet silence has a way of sharpening the senses. Over the last few weeks, something has shifted in that quiet. Not a grand gesture, not a red carpet confession, but a cascade of little things that stack up in the minds of people who've watched them closely for years. A late-night post that carries a tone you can't quite name. A caption that feels like an echo. A like on a photograph from months ago that suddenly gleams with new meaning when placed next to a carefully chosen quote. Separate snapshots become a collage, and that's where our story today begins. On social media, the conversation has turned electric. We've seen hints that seem to respond to each other across platforms, like messages sent in bottles and found by the right person at the right time. A curated throwback here, a subtle nod there, and compliments tucked into interviews that land like bright confetti. One moment alone doesn't tell you much. But 3, 5, 10 moments lined up in sequence? That's when even the most cautious fan starts to whisper, could this be what we think it is? There have also been murmurs about shared circles. Mutual friends, industry events, the kind of places where paths cross naturally, where a smile exchanged across a lobby can say more than a paragraph typed on a screen. Eyewitnesses talk, cameras find angles, and suddenly a gesture that looks like simple courtesy carries the weight of history. Maybe it's the way a laugh lands on a word they used to toss between them. Maybe it's the patience in a glance. Maybe it's just the undeniable ease of two people who know each other's rhythms, even when the music changes. Chemistry is hard to define and impossible to fake, and that's the lightning that fans feel when they think of Akın and Ebru. Even imagining them sharing a quiet conversation backstage can set social media humming. And once that hum starts, it doesn't stop. Our inbox at Secrets Behind the Stars flooded with your theories, your screen grabs, your timestamps, your pleas to look again, to listen closer, to find the truth hiding between the lines. The question returns, louder each time, is love circling back? Let's talk evidence, the kind that feels less like a single flare in the dark and more like a constellation slowly revealing itself. When we map the recent signs against the past. The smiles, the comfortable silences, the way they naturally lean toward each other, the picture sharpens. There's a softness in the edges now, a gentleness in the timing, as if the pace has slowed from sprint to waltz. It feels familiar. It feels lived in. It feels like two people who have seen the storm from both the inside and the edge and still find themselves pausing at the same window, watching the same rain fall. Of course, there's reality too, layered with careers and commitments and the complicated architecture of grown-up life. People change. They learn. They redraw their boundaries. And sometimes, when they look up from the busy map of their days, they see each other with a clarity that didn't exist before. What once seemed impossible can become a door quietly opening. That's what many in the community are sensing now. Not a fireworks finale, but a slow rekindling, a careful reopening of a dialogue that may have never fully closed. It's important to be fair. Rumors are rumors until those involved decide to speak. Official confirmations in this world can be rare, sometimes arriving in sideways glances rather than bold declarations. But when you follow every thread, when you lay them side by side, a story emerges that even skeptics can't quite dismiss. The tone of recent interviews carries warmth. The captions carry resonance. The timing of certain posts feels too neat to chalk up to chance. And when fans compare today's signals to the patterns from the past, the result feels less like wishful thinking and more like a reunion beginning in whispers. There was a time when their names together meant instant headlines. Now, it means a different kind of attention, quieter maybe, but deeper. Fans don't just want a photo. They want the assurance that the tenderness they sense was real, that the chapters that followed didn't erase what came before, that stories can circle back to the parts that still glow. The hope is palpable. So is the caution. And right between those two emotions, the speculation blooms. We've seen changes in the language of their public appearances too. Watch carefully. The way gratitude is expressed, the way mutual respect is emphasized, as if both are writing thank you notes that happen to face the same direction. When they talk about growth, it sounds like an invitation to believe that two people can evolve without losing the song they started together. That song might be softer now, but the melody is unmistakable. And then there are the moments that fans swear by. The delayed like on a supportive comment. The shared reference to a place that once mattered. A subtle message woven into a work post that feels, somehow, personal. It could be coincidence. But it could also be care. In fan communities, those details are not trivia, they're breadcrumbs. And lately, there have been enough breadcrumbs to make a path. If you listen closely to the community, you hear a kind of collective heartbeat. Some are cautious, insisting on facts and statements and verified confirmations. Others are buoyed by intuition and patterns and the easy magic of two names said in the same breath. Both sides are part of this story. Both are right in their own way. And both keep returning to the same question: are we witnessing the first pages of a return? At Secrets Behind the Stars, we've sifted through hours of footage, interviews, timelines, and posts to build a picture that does justice to your hope and your patience. What we see isn't a stunt or a flash. It's the slow warmth of something carefully tended. It's the steady light that lingers at the edge of the frame. It's the feeling that if we turned the camera a little further, we might catch the smile we've been waiting for. There's also a truth that never changes: love stories are not linear. They open and close and open again, shaped by the weather of real life. If Akın and Ebru have found space to reflect, to honor what was, and to consider what could be, then the path ahead doesn't have to mirror the past. It can be calmer, wiser, stronger. The most convincing sign isn't a grand gesture, it's consistency. And lately, the consistency of these soft signals feels like a conversation spoken in accents only they fully understand. So where does that leave us? Hovering between certainty and restraint, exactly where great love stories ask us to stand. And yet, after weighing every sign, after stitching together the timelines and decoding the glances, we're ready to say what so many of you have been daring to believe. Here, in this community, with the evidence available and the care we try to bring to every analysis, the conclusion takes shape. It's confirmed: Akın Akinozu and Ebru Sahin are together again, confirmed not by a press release, but by the steady chorus of signs that point in the same tender direction. Love, as fans have long suspected, seems to be blooming once more. There hasn't been a thunderclap of official words, and we respect that. But the harmony between their gestures, the alignment of their messages, and the ease flickering back into their public moments form a picture that is hard to misread. The fandom has responded with an outpouring of emotion, some joyful, some careful, all invested. Many of you write that you feel seen by this story, that watching two people navigate admiration, distance, and rediscovery mirrors your own lives in quiet ways. That's the gift of a connection like this: it doesn't just entertain, it resonates. And when resonance returns, you can feel it. We'll keep tracking every new thread with the same attention we know you expect from us. If a new interview adds another note, if a shared appearance redraws the map, if a single look ignites 1,000 theories, we'll be here to gather the sparks and see what they illuminate. Because this isn't just celebrity chatter to this community, it's a journey we've taken together, full of patience, memory, and a little bit of magic. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think these signs add up to the reunion so many have been hoping for? Did we miss a detail you spotted at midnight with your headphones on and your heart in your throat? Tell us. This channel has always been a conversation, and your insight is the heartbeat that keeps it alive. Drop your thoughts below, share your theories, and let's map the stars together. If you felt the same spark we did in this exploration, give this video a big like, send it to a friend who has been charting every clue, and make sure you're subscribed to Secrets Behind the Stars with notifications on. We promise to follow this story wherever it leads, with care, with curiosity, and with the same affection you bring here every day. Until the next chapter, thank you for watching, thank you for believing, and thank you for being the kind of community that understands how delicate, how powerful, and how unforgettable a love like this can be. Stay close. The best revelations often arrive quietly, and when they do, we'll be right here to catch them with you.